Hi, my name is Steve Sobek. I'm Amy's father, the owner and web developer of amysflashcards.com. The purpose of this video is to help you to get the most benefit from these online flashcard-like drills. Here we are at the home page, and if you scroll down, you'll see that there are 5 different categories of subjects covered with my drills. I have the geography section here in the upper left-hand corner. Then I have the mental math drills off to the right, followed by the music drills and some video lessons. And the bottom left I have some vocabulary drills. And back underneath the math drills you'll see the Bible drills, and finally some extra resources that I make available. We're going to go through each of these one at a time and to show you how to properly use that section. You'll notice with every one of these drills that there are hyperlinks on both the left and right side of the name of the drill. If you want to actually start the drill, as you might guess, you have to click on the word start. That's how you start the drill. These hyperlinks to the right are hyperlinks to PDF files that are not interactive. These are for printing so that when you're away from the computer you can study, you can continue to study, but these are not interactive. These drills with the word start, they are. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and show you. Let's start with suppose you like to learn the countries of Africa and you like to know how to correctly pronounce them. Then we'll click the word start, and that takes us to our Africa drill. And let me scroll up a little bit here so you can see the bottom. And notice if you mouse over any of the countries light up. And if you were to click on a country, Botswana, you'll hear how the country is pronounced, and you'll visually see the spelling of that country.
Madagascar, Zambia.
Okay. Now, suppose you begin this drill not knowing any of the countries of Africa. I wasn't much better than that when I started the drill. I didn't know the countries of Africa. After I created the drill, I used my own drill, and I learned these countries, and now I know them all. And you'll be surprised how quickly you learn with these flashcard-like drills. If you're beginning, I would start with 3 countries that are adjacent to each other, say South Africa and Zimbabwe and Botswana.
And
click on any 3 countries that are close together, like these 3, and
Zimbabwe.
Practice saying
Botswana, South Africa.
So you'll point to this and say Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Point over here and think, that's Botswana.
Botswana.
That's Africa.
South Africa.
And keep practicing those 3 until you've mastered them and you're getting all of them right. And then you add a 4th one. Add Mozambique.
Mozambique.
And then begin to drill yourself in a random order, and maybe go to the new one more than any of the other ones. You know, go to Zimbabwe, and then back to Mozambique, and then go to Botswana, Mozambique, South Africa, Mozambique, and practice those 4 until you've mastered them. Then perhaps add Namibia to the group, and practice on these. You know, go from Zimbabwe to Namibia, go from Botswana to Namibia, and then add on Madagascar, and Lesotho and Swaziland, and Angola and Zambia, and we just work your way up, adding 1 country at a time, and not adding a new country until you've mastered the countries beneath it. After one day, you might have 10 countries under your belt. The next day, you come back and you practice those. First, you begin by trying to say those 10 countries, and you won't get them all. The next day, you might forget half of them. But you'll relearn them quick enough. You know, suppose you thought this was Tanzania. Oh, Zimbabwe. All right, and there's several that you'll miss, and you'll learn them faster the second day than you'd taken to learn them the first day. And so maybe after 5 minutes, those first 10 that you got the previous day, you're getting them all right again. And then you could begin to add additional countries and work your way up. Kenya, Somalia, and just keep progressing in that fashion until, maybe after a week or, 10 days, you've got all the countries in Africa memorized. And it's amazing how fast you learn. And now you might move on to, say, Europe and practice my Europe drills. But you need to understand that review is an essential part of the learning process. And maybe after a couple of weeks in Europe, you come back to Africa and say, all right, I need to review these again. And yes, you'll miss some. Maybe some of the small ones, Eritrea or Djibouti, you might miss some of those. And so you practice Africa again, and you get that under your belt, and then after a month you come back to Africa, and you constantly come back and review, and eventually you reach a certain point that when you come back you find you get them all right. You know them all. And that's how the geography drills work. All right, let me go back to the home page. If you scroll down, you'll see that there's a button here to return to the home page, and that's what these geography drills are like. Now, these hyperlinks to the right are links to PDF files. Let me click on Print Map. And here you'll see a PDF file. It's a 2-page PDF. The first page has all the country names. Okay, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. It's showing stars where the capitals are. If you want to learn those names, that's a different PDF file that will show those answers. And page 2 of this PDF file will not have any of the country names. So you print page 1 on one side of a sheet of paper, put the paper back in the printer and print the back side, and then you can practice when you're away from the computer, or if you're helping your children, they go with you to the store, they could be in the back seat practicing these, looking at page 2, trying to name countries, and then flipping over to the front side to check their answers. You'll notice that my maps, by the way, I typed all these in, are different from your typical map. Your typical map will have names of countries, names of cities, names of lakes, names of deserts, names of rivers, and other terrain type names. And there's so much on the map that it's very difficult to discern which of these are country names. And my maps are, of course, I'm biased. I made these maps. But they're very easy to read, and this map has only the country names. My other map has only the city names of the capitals of all these countries. And so you can print these. Of course, I ask that only subscribers print these maps. If you're just during your first month is a free month, and you're welcome to look at the PDF files, but until you pay the $20 for the year, I ask that you not print any of the PDF files. Okay, let me go back to the home page again, and let's quickly review, summarize geography. With geography, you always start with 3 adjacent countries or 3 adjacent cities, and then from there, once you've mastered those 3, you add a 4th one. Add 1 country at a time until you know all the countries, and periodically review. That's how you can properly use my geography drills. Notice that when I say flashcard-like drills, they are like flashcards. You get the answer instantly when you want them. When you click your mouse, you see it. You don't have to type the answer in or have to write the answer down. That defeats the purpose. If you were using regular flashcards and someone said, well, you have to write your answer down or type it in, you'd say, forget it. All right. Likewise, with my site, you just think the answer or say it out loud, and then click to see if you're right, and instantly you know if you're right or wrong. So you get answers instantly when you want them. You move as fast, as slow as you want. You are in control. That's why flashcards are so popular. Flashcards are popular because they work. And these online electronic flashcard-like drills, they work. If you use these, you will learn the countries of Africa. You will learn the states of the United States. You will learn the capitals. And my city drill, by the way, for United States doesn't include just the capitals. So if we take just a quick peek, I do want to move on. But you'll find that it includes other cities. Instead of just knowing that Sacramento is the capital of California, you'll also learn San Francisco and Los Angeles and San Diego. These are all important cities that they should know. The ones that are red stars, these are the capitals, but it's important to know many of these other large cities in our country. You'll notice in the city drills, instead of having to click on a little tiny dot, I have mouse over events. So you just mouse over the event. There's no clicking involved with any of the city drills. You just mouse over the city and you will see the city name and the state. Okay, returning back to the home page, let's move on to the mental math drills. Mental math is math without paper or pencil. Whenever you're just starting out and developing concept, it's fine to use your fingers to know what 2 plus 3 is. You put them together and count them. That's fine. But after you develop that concept, you need to memorize your addition tables. You need to memorize your multiplication tables. And these drills help you to do that. And they go beyond, as you'll soon see. But let's just take a typical drill. Let's say the multiplication drills with digits from 2 through 9. And let's see what the math drills are like. You'll see here the question is in this region here, and you're supposed to think of the answer, 18. Then click on this button down here, Show Answer, and you'll see the answer. If you're right, you move on to the next question, 45. Click, confirm. Next question, 10, confirm. All right, 56, confirm. 12, confirm. And you continue in this fashion until you're ready to stop. And at some point, when you're ready to stop, you click on, if you make a mistake, suppose you, instead of thinking that this was 42, the correct answer, suppose you thought it was 41. Then you click and you say, oh, 42, I got that wrong. Then just like you would with physical flashcards, you pause and you stop and think about that. Oh yeah, 6 times 7 is 42, not 41. All right, I should know that. And then you move on. And at some point, you're ready to stop. You click on the stop sign here, and you'll see my daughter Amy swing on the vine, land on the branch, and display some statistics about your what you did that day. You'll see that you've completed 12 problems. The duration, 1 minute, 2 seconds. It means that you're working at a rate of 11 problems per minute. So you see the rate. And if your child is using these drills, you could monitor the rate that they're working on a certain drill. Maybe they begin working at 11 problems per minute, and then next week you find they're working at 15 and then 20 problems per minute. And some children are intrinsically motivated when they see the progress they're making. They're excited and they begin to spend more and more time on the drills, because they're amazed at how fast they are learning. Other children might not be so intrinsically motivated and might need a little external motivation from you, the parent. And so the excitement that you display when you see their improvement, which they will improve, then that excitement might provide for them the extra incentive that they need to continue using these drills. Click on Main Menu to go back to the main menu. And that's a quick look at one of your basic mental math drills. All these drills are done without any paper or pencil, no calculator. You're just on your own. Now, some of these are very simple, elementary level drills. Digits from 0 to 5, 3 plus 5. And numbers don't get any bigger than 5. Other drills are more advanced. Some are more high school and even college level drills. but it's important that you take a look at the tips, because some of these drills are not supposed to be memorized. For example, 2-digit addition, this drill right here. You can see here that that the numbers have 2 digits, and you're not supposed to memorize 72 plus 52 is equal to 126, but you're supposed to calculate that the way I just did, using special strategies that I detail in those tips. Now I'm going to take a moment to pause and go over here to the mental math drills and show you how you're supposed to add 2-digit addition. When you're using paper and pencil, you align the numbers vertically and you add the ones column and carry, then add your tens column. That's with paper and pencil. You do them differently when you're doing these in your head, mentally. You add from left to right. Yes, the exact opposite of the way you did it with paper and pencil. You first add 5 plus 2, and you think 70, but you don't say it yet, because it's possible that it could bump up to 80. You glance at the next column and see if that sum is going to exceed 9. If it is, then you'll, instead of saying 70, you'll say 80. Well, 4 and 1 is not going to exceed 9, so you go ahead and say 70, and then 4 plus 1 is 5, 75. You see, ultimately numbers are read from left to right, and so we calculate these sums from left to right. Let me go to the the next question here. For example, when we're attacking this problem, we first look at 7 plus 8, 15. So we're thinking 150, but we don't say it yet. A quick glance over here, that sum is going to be more than 9. So instead of saying 150, you say 160. Well, 160 what? You know, you have to then look at this and say, what does 4 plus 9 end with? A 3. So 163. 163. All right, one more. I have to get out of this mode. Down here. Okay, try that. Add those from left to right. Pause the video and then start up when you're ready to hear my comments. Okay, now that you've restarted the video, I hope that you did this first. I hope you first added the 8 and the 4, 12, and of course they're in the thousands column. So you're thinking 12,000. You don't say it just yet. You glance over here and say, okay, I'm ready to say 12,000. I'm going to write it. You're not actually having to write these, but just to show you what I'm thinking. 12,000. Then I think 400. Don't say it until I glance at the next column and I see it's not going to exceed 9. So I'm ready to go ahead and say 400. And I think 60, but I don't say it yet until I glance at the next column and I see 5 and 7 is going to exceed 9. So instead of saying 60, I say 70. And, 7 plus 5 is 12, so that's going to end with a 2. 12,472. All right, so that's how you're supposed to add with with more than one digit addition. Whenever you're doing multiplication, and of course, I don't expect you from this video to be experts at adding 2-digit numbers. This is something that takes practice. My point is, I want you to understand that you're not supposed to memorize 35 plus 56, but you're supposed to use my strategy of adding from left to right to calculate that answer very quickly in your head. And the same thing is, and they're all And all the strategies are outlined in those tips. And I'm not going to talk much about multiplication, but it's the same thing. When you see the drill for 5 times 93, you're supposed to first take the 5 times the 9, and you think 450. Don't say it yet, because then you're going to add on the product of 5 times 3. You're going to add on the 15. 450 and 15 is 465. All right, so that multiplication is also done from left to right when you do this mentally. Okay, another one of the drills is multiplying numbers that are between 11 and 19. I should say 11 to 19 inclusive. There's a special trick for multiplying numbers like this. When I see this problem, 13 times 17, what I'm thinking in my head is, what is 200 plus 21? Well, that would be 221. That's the answer. Now, where am I getting these numbers at? Where am I getting the 200 at? Where am I getting the 21? Here's how the strategy works. You first add this 7 to the 13. That gives you 20. Add a 0. Okay. 7 and 13 is 20. Add the 0. You have 200. And then add the product of 3 and 7. That's 21. And the answer is 221. So we can, all the numbers from 11 to 19, they all work the same way. 15 times 12, you're thinking, what is 170 plus another 10? 180. Let's go to a more difficult question. 18 times 14. Try it on your own using my strategy, and you pause the video and restart that when you're ready for my comment. Okay, now that you restarted the video, I hope that you first added the 4 to 18, giving you 22. Add a 0, so you're thinking in your head, you're not writing, but you're thinking 220 plus another 32. Well, 220 and 32 is 252. Now, of course, you're only going to be able to do these drills if you've mastered all the other drills. You know, you know your addition tables. You know that 7 plus 8 is 15. You know that 7 times 8 is 56. You master those earlier drills before you're ready to even attempt any of these higher level drills. And there's other drills that have tips. And if you go back to my home page here, you'll see that there are tips beside each of these, and if you click on the word tips, or here's the one we were just talking about, and here you can see Amy explaining how to use the trick for adding numbers from 11, multiplying numbers between 11 and 19 together. Okay, back to the home page. So that's a quick summary of the mental math drills. Please don't make your child spend more than 5 or 10 minutes a day doing these mental math drills. It's very intensive. You get tired pretty fast doing these drills. But that's all you need, 5 or 10 minutes a day, and they will continue to see progress, and you'll be amazed at how fast they improve and how far you can go if you learn these the strategies that I am recommending. That's the mental math drills. Let's move on to the music section. The music section has some flashcard-like drills. Name that note from the treble clef. Let's just take a peek at that. Okay, we're loading that drill for the first time, and many students know the name of these notes because they know the acronym. Every good boy does fine. That must be an F. they know that this is an E because the spaces are F, A, C, and E. Well, the acronyms are fine for beginners, but if you get serious with music, you want to be able to identify these instantly without having to refer to the acronyms. You know that that's an F, you know that that's an E. And so this drill will help you to do that. And so start with just 3. Practice drilling yourself on just these 3, then add a 4th one. You know, you want to know that when you're on this line, that is a D. And then when you've mastered these 4, add the 5th, and then the 6th. And eventually you'll have these all. And then these other are just practice in a random order, and these are all just more practice. And these are all mouse over events. There's no clicking involved. You just mouse over, and when you can go through these, you can even go out of order, it doesn't matter. As you go through these and you get them all right instantly, then you've mastered that drill. Okay, back to the home page. What else do I have in music? Notes on the piano. If you're learning piano, it's easy to learn one note, to learn this is an A, and then you know that they go in order. So the next one's B, and then C and D. So when you're drilling yourself on these, and then they just repeat again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you don't want to go in order. All right, you want to do these randomly. You want to know the white keys based upon their relationship with the black keys. You want to know that white key that sits in between, here's 2 black keys. The white key that sits in between is a D. And you want to instantly be able to say that based upon its orientation. And you want to know that this is an A instantly, and the sound as well. And so you want to be able to go to any note between 2 black keys and know that that is a D. And you want to know all these notes. And after you learn all the white keys, begin to learn A sharp. You know, there's no B sharp, but there is a C sharp, a D sharp, and learn the black keys as well. And that's a quick look at the keyboard drill. Okay, back to the home page. Anything else about music I want to say? Notes on the guitar fretboard. I spent a lot of time with the lead guitar drill, and okay, I'm sorry, these are the drills, those are videos, I'm sorry. Okay, so guitar chords, piano chords, the major diatonic scale. It's a little more advanced drill, but you know, those people who know, been around music, taking music for a while, they understand that, you know, the benefit of memorizing a diatonic scale is to know that C doesn't have any sharps or flats, but to know that the key of G does. And we go through these. It has an F sharp right there. And if you know these, then you could transpose pretty quickly. If something is written in the key of C, sometimes you might just have the most common major chords in the key of C are C, F, and G, 1, 4, and 5. Here's 4 and 5, F and G. If you want to play that in a different key because that's too high or too low to sing, in the key of G, you know that G, C, D is 1, 4, and 5. So you could immediately transpose, play in a different key, and people can sing with you without squeaking. But there's more benefits than that, knowing the diatonic scales. And I'm not going to try to convince you of that right now. But once you get more and more involved with music, you'll understand the benefit of that. That's one of, you know, a more advanced drill. Likewise with the video lessons, some of these are basic guitar lessons. The lead guitar lessons, I'd say that is quite a bit more advanced. Here's a chance to meet Amy, my daughter, a video piano lesson. Here, if you get to this page and click on the center of the screen, click here, it will start this video lesson. Basic lesson on how to play the song Amazing Grace using just 3 chords. And as you go through the video, when we get to the certain chords, there we go. I have
so you're using fingers
it
1,
will
3,
show you
and 5,
exactly where to position
and
your
there on
fingers
the
to
notes
play that chord.
C, E, and
Okay,
G.
let me pause that and go back to the home page. And in a nutshell, that's the video, the music drills that I have on so far. We of course intend to add many more music drills. Vocabulary. Talk a little bit about vocabulary drills. I'll click the word start to begin the first vocabulary drill. The words that I chose for these drills, and I'm not done with the vocabulary section. I have 500 words picked out for this drill, and I only have 150 10 drills, 15 drills with 10 words each, covering the first 150 words of the vocabulary lessons. It's called Amy's Practical Vocabulary. These are practical words that are used all the time. They're not obscure words that if you started using them, people would just shake their head and not know what you're talking about. They're words that most adults know what they mean. They're part of your reading vocabulary. If you're reading a book and a word shows up, let me just show you some of these words. Okay, expedite, concealed, abuse, procrastination, reprehensible, scandal. They're words that you know what they mean when you say, but you don't. Many people don't know them well enough to use in conversation. Okay, that's our speaking vocabulary. Our speaking vocabulary is minuscule compared, it's dwarfed by our speaking vocabulary, which is massive. We recognize many, many times more words when we see them than we think of when we're speaking. We speak with a very small vocabulary. The purpose of these drills are to take these words that you, at least adults, already know and transfer them into your speaking and writing vocabulary, so that when you're writing an editorial or you're giving a presentation, that you're able to come up with these words and use them. And of course, with junior high students, I suppose many of these words might be new, but for adults using these drills, you know what they mean. The purpose is to bring those words into your speaking vocabulary. All of these sentence completions are written so that the context clues will pretty much reveal what you're looking for. Mom blanked all of the birthday presents so Sally would not see them until after the cake was cut. What did she do? She hid them. Okay, she concealed them. And there's hints. The hint is the definition of the word. And the first time through here, you might, the first time through, you might want to just look at all the answers. That's not cheating. That's fine. Ultimately, just like the country drills, you want to be able to get all 3 of these right. The manager hired 2 new employees to expedite the shipping process. Mom concealed the birthday presents. The savage abuse of the POWs. When you've mastered these 3, you add the 4th. Steve's greatest vice is procrastination. When you've mastered those 4, add a 5th. If you're getting a few of these wrong, then you just keep practicing these, checking your answers, making sure that you're answering correctly, and then add the 5th. You do these just like you do the country drills. And then after you've finished all 10 words from list number 1, you move back to list 2. And I suggest that after you complete list 3, that you go back and review all 3 lists. Practice lists 1, 2, and 3. And then do 4 and 5 and 6 and practice 4, 5, and 6. Then practice 1 through 6. You could print study guides to practice while you're away from the computer. That's a quick snapshot at my vocabulary drills. I intend to add many more drills. I already have the words picked out. Let's move on to Bible drills. All right, the Bible drills. What do I have here? You'd like your child and yourself to know all the books of the Bible. And so let's first take a look at the Old Testament drill for learning the names of the books of the Old Testament. Okay, first time you do this until these drills are cached. It takes a few seconds to load, but here we are. Here's your the 39 books of the Old Testament, and if you want to just see the answer, you mouse over the answer, the green buttons: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. And if you want to hear how they're pronounced,
Genesis,
then you mouse
Exodus,
over the yellow
Leviticus,
buttons, and
Numbers,
you'll hear
Deuteronomy,
pronounce all the
Joshua,
books of the Bible.
Judges, Deuteronomy.
And just like if you had a tutor helping you, sometimes suppose you knew Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, but you couldn't think of the fifth book of the Bible, and you would ask your tutor, well, what does it start with? Well, that's what the hint is. It tells you the first letter of that word. Oh, it starts with D. Deuteronomy. I knew that. And you progress all the way through until you know all the books of the Old Testament. All the way through Malachi. All right, so that's the Old Testament drill. I have a New Testament drill, just very similar to that. A quick peek at the Ten Commandment drill. When you mouse over these numbers on the tablets, then off to the right you'll see the commandment that shows up. The sixth commandment: you shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. It's taking a little bit to load that. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. I would first learn these in order, but I think it was also a benefit to know what number is associated with each of the commandments, and so then I would, after your child masters these in order, then have them go in a random order and be able to jump right to number 5 and know that that's honor your father and mother. Thou shalt not covet, number 10. And be able to go in any order and jump right and be able to say the answer instantly. And soon they will know the 10 Commandments. Okay, here's a link back to the home page. 10 Commandment drill. Okay, what else do I have here? A Bible history drill. I spent a lot of time summarizing the history of the entire Bible on the one side of a sheet of paper. So, and this drill helps you or your child get the big picture so that they know what the major events of the Bible are from beginning to end. Okay, so how does this drill work? Starts with creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You just mouse over the blanks and it will show up. What happened after creation? There was the fall. Adam and, who was the wife's name? Eve. Adam and Eve sinned by eating the forbidden fruit. And you go through here, okay, the Tower of Babel, God calls Abraham, Joseph rise to power, deliverance from slavery, the 10 Commandments, the wanderings, conquest of Canaan, the Judges. And, eventually you get into the New Testament and you have a big picture of what happened in the entire Bible. Okay, so let's return to the home page again. And Bible memorization drills. Let's take a quick peek at this. I recently, Billy Graham Evangelistic Association recently came to Pittsburgh with the Three Rivers Festival of Hope. And I was one of the counselors and had to go through training sessions, and we had to memorize certain verses. So with this drill, I made sure that we included all of the verses that were required that I had to learn for my to be a counselor at the Billy Graham Crusade. Franklin Graham was the speaker, and I included those, and I included some others as well. And you see that the way that these work is, if you want to see the answer, you just mouse over, view entire verse. Here's John 3:16. Notice that I have the answer in 3 different versions. I have the New International Version, I have the New King James Version, and the English Standard Version. So you don't learn all 3, but you pick what or let your parents, help you choose a version that you're going to memorize, and just, memorize those versions. And sometimes you get stuck. For God so loved the world that he, let me reset that. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And if you forget what happened after that, you have hints. Hints will show you parts of the verse. Okay, here's part of John 3:16. Okay, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. There you go. So certain parts of the verse are shown to you as hints, and so that's how this Bible memorization section works. And of course, all of these verses are related to salvation. People have a sin problem. Who is Jesus Christ? What did he do? He died on a cross. He rose from the dead, and heaven is offered as a free gift if we receive him through Jesus Christ through faith. Tremendous verses to memorize. Okay, here's the link back to the home page. I have other Bible drills if you want to learn the cities of the New Testament. Maybe a real quick peek at that. I need to wrap up pretty soon here. Again, start with Jerusalem and Bethany and Bethlehem and those 3 adjacent cities, and just like the country drills, begin to add a 4th one, Emmaus, and then add Joppa, and just progress in small groups, 1 city at a time, until you know all these. These are cities up here that the Apostle Paul visited, and notice that there's 2 Antiochs: Antioch, Pisidia Antioch, and Antioch where Paul began his missionary journeys from. That's where they were launched from. And the Bible becomes more alive and easier to understand when, as you're reading, you come up to Paphos and you say, well, I know exactly where that's at. That's on the island of Cyprus. And it's easier to read the Bible and understand it when you know where everything is at and where all these cities are located. We return to the home page. That's a quick snapshot of my Bible drills. Okay, these down here are additional resources that I think educators, parents, or teachers will be very pleased to see. Okay, graph paper, if they're doing some graphing, flashcard makers, if you want to just make some physical flashcards, you could type in your answers, and if you type in the right spots, they will match up front and back. And game board, my drills are drills. They are not games. They're for learning very rapidly. But sometimes it's nice to stop with your family and play games. I played games all the time. If you click on this game board here, eventually you'll, I have to show it. You'll see a PDF file will allow you to print a game board. You could use pennies, quarters, and dimes, or some types of pieces for each member of the family. And we made games out of just about everything. When we're learning the countries of Africa, sometimes we would make a game out of it, and they would, we would print a copy of Africa without the answers on it, and the first person would have to name one country, any one they want, and we would put a check mark if they got that right. We would, check the answer either with, you could use my website to click on to check the answer. And the second person has to name the first person's country. Suppose the first person mentioned Botswana. The second person might say Botswana and then South Africa. And the third person might say Botswana and South Africa and Mozambique. And if they're correct, they roll a die and advance that number of places. If Africa is a pretty new continent to be working through, then at first no one's rolling the die. But you'll be amazed at how intense everyone's leaning forward and studying whenever, okay, John missed that, and they found out that that's Namibia. Wow, I don't want to miss that. And they're paying such close attention. It's amazing. And then so in the games, people do better than you expect because their level of concern is elevated to such a high level compared to just a normal day of studying on your own. So I love games, and I play games all the time. And when I was a school teacher, I kept of course I was the leader of the ping pong club, and so I had a ping pong table in the classroom, and we even, played games, mathket pong with the ping pong table. So I'm big into games. Feel free to use games extensively. Going back to the home page, what else do we have here? Just seating charts for teachers, weekly planners, calendars. If you just want to print a calendar, this is 2014. It's a 12-page PDF file. We toggle through the pages, and so most people, if you're like our family, we like the numbers real small, so there's lots of space to write. Dentist appointment on September 12th. And you could write things in. You could even take these to Kinko's or Office Max and print them in large, so you have even more space to write in. Okay, so these are just extra resources for writing things in. Back on the home page, in Pennsylvania, we have to keep logs, daily logs, and so this is just something that will facilitate that. You'll be able to type in your subjects and then print out a different page for each week and put check marks showing that which subjects you cover each day. I think there's a lot of useful things here. I think you'll be glad that these aren't drills, but these are just extra stuff, resources that I think that you will like. And those are the drills I have so far. Now, where am I heading? What are some drills that are going to be added in the near future? As I was at the CHIO, the Christian Home Educators of Ohio, I was a vendor there at their conference, and some of the people that came to my vendor table, they asked me, well, you have some nice geography drills, but we would like to also learn major rivers and lakes and deserts and mountain ranges and things of that sort. And so I promised them that I would add those drills, and so I've already begun working on those drills, and you'll soon see those added to the website. I was a school teacher for 33 years, and in the latter years, I taught math and computer applications, and a little computer programming. And in math class, in Honors Algebra 2, we use graphics calculators extensively. And a lot of parents, when they went through school, they didn't use graphics calculators, and they have trouble helping their child through algebra. Now that most of the books will incorporate graphics calculators use, and so I'd like to make some video lessons on how to use those calculators. With the music section, you notice I have guitar lessons and I have some piano lessons. I don't have any violin lessons, but eventually I'd like to maybe have a contest and have families like yours, create a video on how to play violin, or some basic lesson on how to do anything, really, as long as it's instructional and compatible with the purposes of my site. And we could take the best ones and make them part of the website, and perhaps even have some awards for the best videos. And I'm willing to take suggestions. You have my email address right here, the Sobek family at verizon.net. I'd like you to send me suggestions, let me know what you'd like, and as I have time, I will add those drills to the website. And finally, I'd like to go back to the home page here and talk about what it costs to use my website, amysflashcards.com. The payment page, here's a link to the payment page right here. And you'll see that the first month is absolutely free. No charge. That is free to use the drills and view the PDF files, but I ask that no one actually print the PDFs. Only subscribers can print. And then after the first month, if you'd like to continue using my drills, families only have to pay $20 for the whole year. That's not $20 per month. That's $20 covers your entire family for an entire year. Also, I have group subscription rates. If you are part of a group of some sort, you're part of a church, for example, then if you pay $60, if your church or you in behalf of your church pays $60, then that covers not only all the computers in the church, but all the families of the church that attend that church and their homes and all those computers. It covers. You could have a church with 300 families, and they're all covered. They could all use Amy's flashcards for that year when your church pays that $60 group subscription rate. Same thing with a school. It covers all the computers in the school, and it covers all the families that have children attending that school, and all the teachers that are or administrators at that school. If you're part of a homeschool group, then pay the $60, and all the families of that homeschool group can use amysflashcards.com. How do you pay? Let me scroll down here. I have payments right here. If you're paying for a family, then you'd leave it on $20. If you're paying for, say a homeschool group, then you would change this to $60. Type in the name of your group right here, and name of a contact person, yourself, and then click on the subscribe button, and that will take you to PayPal's secure servers, where you can complete the process. You don't even have to be a PayPal member. If you want to just enter as a guest and then show your credit card numbers, you could pay that way. Anytime you wish to unsubscribe, you could just click this button and unsubscribe. If you prefer not going through PayPal, off to the left here, you also can see that you can write a check payable to Sobek Services and mail it to my home address. This is me. I live here in Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh area, and I hope that gives you a quick overview of all the types of drills that we have at amysflashcards.com. I'm convinced that any flashcard drills are effective, and these electronic flashcards are effective if you use them. There's a tremendous amount here, and if you have your child use these drills, they will learn, and it's an enormous amount of. I hope that you like it, and I look forward to hearing your comments and suggestions by emailing me at thesobekfamily@verizon.net. Thank you.